Welcome. Today we are going to be going over the Security Logbook. Now, I know what you're thinking.
But, Janari, we already solved the Security Logbook. It's Cassidy and Dave.
Well, my little squirrel friends, I am here to tell you that I think we might be wrong. And I know that is a big ask of me to make, just to hear me out. So I beg of thee, give me a chance. Let me show you the way. If you don't know what the Security Logbook is, A, you're probably one of my subscribers that came from the Kingdom Hearts video. Hello, this is what I normally do, I guess. Or B, you're new to the franchise. In that case, good luck. So this Security Logbook, I actually have a couple of copies here. I'll show you one here. Give my little ASMR for you guys. This Security Logbook is presumably how we are going to solve the name of Golden Freddy, or rather, the names of Golden Freddy. And I know that might seem confusing at first because it's just a book. So I'm just going to show you a couple of these pages. So you can see here we've got like some fun coupons, we got little questionnaires, we got like how are you feeling quizzes. There's a lot here. But more importantly, there are two interesting pieces in here. This word search and mirror and boop, this Foxy grid. So today we are just going to be focusing on the word search and mirror, which is originally how the community got Cassidy. So I'm going to be focusing just on that one. The Foxy grid is going to be a different video because, yeah, we're going to need the whole time just to go over this one. So we are going to be going over the word search, how we got Cassidy, why I think it's wrong, how I think we are supposed to solve it, the name that I got solving it, and its connections to already pre-established lore. So I think this might be a big one and it might shock the community. So if you haven't, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe. And another fun fact, one of our community members is actually going to be in this video. They are part of the lore now. They are part of my canon FNAF lore, and they will always be that character. So if you want to be able to be one of these characters and continue being in the FNAF lore, in my FNAF lore, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the memberships. I think it's like down below in the link, or I don't know, click on my channel, it's somewhere there, I think. But yeah, join our Cotton Candy Cadets and you will be part of the theory board. So thank you to all of our community members. Again, if you want a chance to be on the board, go ahead and join us. We have fun here. You also get some exclusive videos, like they got to see all this before you guys are. Yeah, FOMO, baby. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I am so excited to dig into this one. We are going to be starting, like I said, going over this word search. Now, the way that we got Cassidy was by using 7 instances of faded text that we find throughout the book. There's many more than 7, but there are only 7 that specifically say my name. Now, these are all faded. I have an example right here. Some of them are within Mike's drawings that we find throughout the book. Now, there are 3 entities, I can call them, talking through this book. You've got the red pen, which we believe is Mike or Michael Afton, and then we have the faded text. I don't know why this picture is so big. I didn't mean to print it that big. I also couldn't find a good picture of like faded text, so it's a faded towel, and I think that's close enough. I don't know why he's so large though. I didn't mean to print him that large, so now I just have Towelly that large. Okay. Anyway, that's the faded text. And that's the one that we see asking questions throughout the entire book. Now, the other entity that we have in this book is going to be the altered text, represented here by this little blind man, because one of the things it says is, I can't see. I didn't know how to represent altered text, so it's just one of the things he says. He can't see. He can't see. Now, presumably, this faded text is the one you should not have killed. Now, this entity in FNAF is the vengeful spirit, as we call them, and presumably the one who locks William Afton in purgatory during Ultimate Custom Night, or like his own personal hell. That's kind of the premise of it. Another thing is they are basically the 5th child that we didn't get the name of. I'll show you the gravestones right here. They are presumably that gravestone that you can see that is covered. So we don't officially know their name. But wait, I know.
But Denari, but it is Cassidy. I know it is Cassidy because Scott Cawthon, he released these scripts, and one of them said the Cassidy script and Princess Quest. It also had a sprite named Cassidy, and Cassidy was the princess, and that means that Cassidy is the toy sink.
And that's totally fair. And I'm not really arguing that Cassidy isn't the vengeful spirit's name. I actually think what I found is the crying child's name, and the way that we solved Cassidy prior isn't the way we were supposed to solve Cassidy. But that might still very well be the vengeful spirit's name. I just am arguing against Dave, not Cassidy, until I figure out the Foxy Grid, and then maybe I won't get Cassidy out of it, and then maybe I will argue against Cassidy, and I don't know, and then maybe everyone will come at me with pitchforks and screaming, but Denari, So the way that we got Cassidy in this book was by using these instances of the My Name. Now on each of these My Name pages, we found either a piece of altered text or a piece of written text. Now that means the red text from Mike. So we can see that right here, we used an altered number, and then right here, we used Mike's writing. Now we took those numbers, so 8, 11, or 52, and plugged them into the word search. This word search then gave us the name Cassidy. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, right? Except it's not. It's not. Because when I went to the store, and I got 2 fresh copies. I got 2 fresh copies. And they're different. They're different than the original PDFs that I've seen uploaded. They're different. And it seems like this difference goes back. I saw Reddit posts talking about this difference 7 years ago. This wasn't a new change. This was done pretty quickly after publication. Now, I know. What is different? There are 2 key differences that I noticed. One of those being that one of the instances of My Name is actually changed to be red text. This is big because the red text equals Mike's writing in this book. Now, I know.
But Denari, that's just scholastic. They just don't know what they're doing.
And I agree with you. They usually don't. But it's okay. It's okay. We're just going to go with it. Because the other change that they made was correcting the page numbers. There are no longer any page numbers that are altered in this book. And I literally went to several bookstores and got several copies off of Amazon just to make sure that I could check that it was all of them and it wasn't a fluke. They don't have these altered numbers anymore. The page number, instead of saying 52, it now says 29. So that got me thinking, with these changes, we can't get Cassidy in this current iteration of the book. Now, if this destroyed a crucial puzzle, even if it was Scholastic's doing, I would want to argue or think that Scott Cawthon would be able to be like, hey, you kind of screwed that up. Can we... But this has been sliding for 7 years now. 7 years. And I think a big part of it is that a lot of people during that time were probably still under the notion that the books are not canon. We don't need the books to solve the game. I mean, look, 7 years ago, that's what, 2018? Did I do math correctly? 2018? Yeah. I mean, even still, there's still the book debate. And I mean, golly, where are we now? Anyway, with that said, I don't think a lot of people looked into those first iterations of the book. And I think if this was a big puzzle, that this is imperative to the game, I think Scott would have gone back to Scholastic and said, hey, this is, you can't do that. You can't do that. We need these numbers correct so people can actually solve it. Because you're telling me then that they're selling a book for over 7 years now that isn't solvable if Cassidy is the correct answer. I have a hard time believing that. One of the other things that I didn't like with our Cassidy solution was that it used both altered numbers and Mike's writing. It was not consistent across the board. These are the 7 instances of numbers that we used, and you can see that it uses altered writing, Mike's red writing, and an instance of altered red writing. Now, I do also want to explain the way that we get Dave. I am not going to be solving the Foxy Grid in this video, but Dave is the presumable name of the crying child, and I think what I found is the name of the crying child. So I would like to still address the Dave name that we get. By using the questions that we find throughout the book, as you can see here, some of them here, and using the answers that we get from altered text at the end of the book, we put those into the Foxy Grid using those coordinates. We get EVAD. Now, from there, we take those letters, put them into the mirror, because we can see in the middle page, there is the word search and the mirror. So we presumably put that EVAD into the mirror and get Dave. Now, I don't like this because it's, do you have dreams? I'm scared. Does he still talk to you? I can hear sounds. When there is another question that is, does this song sound familiar to you? Which could also apply to the I could hear sounds. The only one that I think is rock solid is the party was for you, it was for me. And another pet peeve of mine, which again, this could be completely wrong, but my thought was, we are seeing 2 distinctly different spirits in the faded and altered text. Why would the Foxy Grid, which is the faded text, give us the name for the altered text when the altered text is now giving us the name for the faded text? It didn't fully line up to me, so I think that I am finding crying child's name in the crossword, which is the altered text. As you can see, it does say it's me, it's me, it's me all over it, and then at the bottom it says, what is your name? So I feel like if this is a case of spirits communicating back and forth, he's saying, well, my name is this, what's your name? And Mike's writing comes into play here. Now, the way that I solved this was by setting a formation of rules for myself. It needs to be simple to solve. You need to have that oh moment at the end of it. If this is convoluted and we're going through 27 steps just to get one letter, I don't think that's correct. It needs to be consistent all the way through. So I don't want to use both an altered page number and then Mike writing the time. I decided to only take the red text based on one instance of my name being in red text. So this left us with these pages. Those are the only ones that I could find answers or Mike's drawings on them. Now from here, I was able to get coordinates. The way that I got these coordinates was by using the pictures. So in this case, I did 5 arrows and 2 palm trees. But I know.
But Donari, it's literally pointing at the page number.
Yes, it is. And if you use the page number, you actually get the same exact letter. So no matter how you solve it on that, you get the same letter. So it can work either way. Now on this one, based on me using the 5 and the 2, on this one I used the 6 for the roses and 1 for the gravestone, the bigger number and then the smaller number. With these other instances, I basically did them the same way that we did the Cassidy. This one saying see page 61, and then you see the little graphic with the 5 plus 4 and the 3 in the corner. So that one giving me 9 and 3. Now on page 85, this one is technically a case of altered text. However, I still included it because unlike the other altered text, this one was red. So that gives us 10 and 11. And then the final one is going to be Mike's writing of the time, 8, 11, giving us 8 and 11. Now, yes, I did skip 2 letters, and those are because those ones did not have any red text on the page. If it didn't have red text and it didn't fit, I did not use those pages. So what do these coordinates that I found give us? Well, if we plug them in normally, it's a bunch of gibberish. Except one thing that I did not like about Cassidy and Dave's solutions. If we look at the logbook here, this is the word search page. And I always thought that the mirror needs to relate to the word search page. Because when you close a book, that mirror is mirroring this word search. This is nowhere near the Foxy Grid. Narratively, I think it is much more satisfying if we close this book and it is mirroring that word search, and that's how we get our answers. So I mirrored the word search and then plugged in those coordinates again, and I found something. Now, the letters that I found, not in order, T, M, T-I-M-Y. That spells Timmy. Timmy. T-I-M-M-Y. So I was like, okay, where's there a Timmy? Little Timmy fell down the well? Where is there a Timmy? Except there is. There is. And I want to shout out Mr. Fazbear Entertainment himself. Link in the description. Make sure you subscribe to him as well. Because the other night, when we were supposed to be playing Marvel Rivals, he was literally helping me with this theory and helping me find even more evidence for it. So big shout out to him. And we do need to play more Marvel Rivals. So where have we seen the name Timmy before? Well, in Help Wanted 2. Happy birthday, Timmy. Now, this is one of the mini games where you are in the freezer with Glamrock Freddy, and he even says that this birthday cake is wrong. It was meant to go to Jimmy, but for some reason it says Timmy on it instead. But there is something weird about this birthday cake other than the misspelling. If we look here, we can see all of these little stars, these little blue stars. And there is one character that is associated with these kind of stars. Crying Child. In Crying Child's bedroom, it is full of those stars. But wait. So in one of the Fazbear Fright short stories, which yes, on their own are not canon, but I'm gonna say the word, they can be used as parallels. Don't sue me. They can be used as parallels. So in one of these short stories, which is called You're the Band, this is the only short story that we actually see the character Mike. Now, I know what you're saying.
But Denari, that short story was cut, and that means it's not canon.
Okay. You're right. This short story was cut, but later re-released. Now, it's not clear, just like anything in this franchise, if it actually is canon or not. So I don't think we can completely rule it out, especially when I explain to you the premise of this story. Now, if we look at the story, it is about a child named Timmy. Really quickly, something about the name Timmy. Okay, something about the name Timmy. I have this thing. I've said it before. I've been told I'm psychic. I've been told I am psychic by my old hypnotherapist and a crystal shop owner that's around my area. They've both told me that they believe I am psychic. And there have been a couple cases where I guess specifically names. Now, I don't know them in like what context this name is in. Names will just come to me and then it'll end up being a name that happens later in my life. Like I did it with somebody that I knew was looking for their birth parents, and I literally had already guessed the name of their birth parents, just coincidentally. So the fact that we got the name Timmy is interesting to... If you watched my Q&A video, you already know this, but there is a Timmy in my life. There is a Timmy in my life, and this is him. This is Timmy. This Timmy, he's a Webkinz. If you don't know what Webkinz are, you are too young to be on my channel. This is Timmy. This is like my psychic friend Fredbear. I sleep with him every night. I love him dearly. He is literally like my little best friend, and his name is Timmy. Maybe I am psychic. I don't know how I feel about that though. I don't want to be. But this is not like the first. This is like the 5th time that this has happened. Like in a very short span, this is like the 5th time that this has happened. That it's just something that is already close to me, and that name happens to be the name of something that I'm trying to figure out. This has happened a lot. It happens a lot. Like more than it should. And I had the whole thing, like I said, with the hypnotherapist, and the whole thing with the crystal shop owner, because unprompted, they just told me that they thought I was clairvoyant and psychic. Who is obsessed with Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Obsessed. Except this is 30 years after the murders, and there's not a Freddy's that is open. No kid likes Freddy's anymore. But this kid, this little Timmy, has become obsessed with it, and wanting to please her son, his mother, Sylvia. she decides that she's going to go on the eBay or their version of eBay and find a Freddy Fazbear mask. And she does find one. She finds an authentic Freddy Fazbear mask. And so she gets this for little Timmy for his 8th birthday. Now that number I think is significant because in this universe, I think this Timmy is a parallel of the crying child who didn't die. The crying child died on his 7th birthday based on the candles that we see in the Curse of Dreadbear. Little Timmy is 7, turning 8. Now, I know, it's still, stay with me. I can't walk over there. All my pictures are over there. Now, Lil Timmy loves this Freddy mask. Okay, it's actually a bear, but I liked the idea of putting on a Freddy Krueger mask here. It is a Freddy Fazbear mask, I want to be clear. I got a sticky note on my foot. It is a Freddy Fazbear mask. It is a Freddy Fazbear mask. And this kid loves the Freddy Fazbear mask. He loves it, but he notes something weird with it. It's a little heavy for some reason. But he puts on the mask, he's at his birthday party, he's so excited, and he's just acting like he is Freddy Fazbear himself. And something weird starts happening. He starts having a case of almost split personality. His mother describing it like there are 2 people living within him. And all the things he used to like, he doesn't anymore. And all the things he didn't like, he now does. For instance, he liked salad, and now he hates it. Can't blame a kid, okay? You can't blame a kid. I am picky with salad. You ever have just like salad that's just like the slightest bit soggy? Ugh. Oh, it has to be perfect texture. The only salad I really like, like if you ever want me to eat salad, Outback's house salad. Oh, I want Outback. Although Outback, they screw up a lot. Once I ordered an Outback Bloomin' Burger, and if you don't have an Outback, it's basically like fried onions on top of a burger patty, and they gave me the Outback Bloomin' Burger without the burger. It was just fried onions and a bun. Like, can I get a Bloomin' Burger? Hold the burger, please. I don't know what they thought they were doing. They keep doing this too. Like every time I order from there, they do this, but their salad is so good. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking. He doesn't like salad, but one thing that the old Timmy hated was like SpaghettiOs, like canned pasta, which again, same. The new Timmy loved canned pasta. He could eat cans and cans of canned pasta. This was not the same person. Their likes, the way they talked, it was all different. He keeps talking as if he witnessed the MCI event, laying propped up against the wall. He saw them himself and he wanted to protect them, but he couldn't. Now, this also rang a bell, because we see in FNAF 4, the crying child saw something he shouldn't have seen, and was terrified. Okay, granted, I know a lot of you argue, but Denawi, that was just, he just saw his father putting somebody in a suit, like suiting him up. Not anything bad. He just didn't see it correctly, and he just thought, oh, well, Dad's just killing him with the suit, and I don't want to be the suit, and I don't like the suits. I just don't know. Look, maybe that could be the case, but it's not impossible for him to have seen the MCI incident, given that, I mean, he's the son of one of the owners. It would make sense for him to be there at this franchise almost daily. We know that his father, William Afton, didn't have any regard for his children, really. I mean, he kind of got all of them killed a little bit. He sent out Baby to go do the killing work while Elizabeth was at the same party. It is not impossible for him to have seen the MCI incident. Now I know that does call into question the timeline and yada 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 bing bang boom. I'm not getting into it. I don't care. I'm just telling you what I found. Anyway, Lil Timmy's mom gets worried and she sends him to a therapist. That's right, this is our community member Char Char, who is now always going to be the therapist in anything we do. Which, lucky for them, one of my upcoming videos does have to do with patient 46 and you will be the therapist there as well. You signed up for this, Mr. Duck or Mrs. Duck. Welcome. You're in the FNAF lore now.
But Denari, I want to want to be on the board.
Well, that's great for you. All you've got to do is subscribe to the Tier 2 membership and you'll be put on the board. Anyway, he talks to this therapist, and this therapist says that she believes he is dissociating, which is something where you lose touch with reality, often as a trauma response. Now, this could line up with his symptoms, except he's like 24/7 dissociated at this point. He believes he is this other person, and he's talking about himself in third person, which is an issue in itself. So anyway, the therapist says she thinks she can help him, but it is going to take a lot of time and effort, and recommends them spending the time away with the grandparents. And this escalated to the point of he's at the dinner table with his grandparents, and his grandpa brings over a steak knife to help him cut the steak, and he goes ballistic. He's like, no, you're not getting near me. I have to save them. Timmy doesn't want to be hurt. Timmy doesn't want to be hurt. He started talking in third person too. So another thing that starts happening is he starts seeing a shadow figure. And this shadow figure appears at the end of his bed and just talks to him. Until one night he follows the shadow figure out of his bedroom window into the woods to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. And at this pizzeria is where Mike catches up with them and finally is like, hey, I need this mask. I stole the mask. I already went into your house. Please don't report me to the police, but this mask is bad and I need it to be able to write this. He's got another spirit in him, another entity in him. We need to fix this. And the puppet's there too, when they have like a whole hoo-ha, and she gets like attacked by the puppet, but Mike saves the day, as he does. Good old Mike. But wait, little Timmy crawling through the window, following some shadow figure into the woods to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. That sounds similar, doesn't it? Yeah. To Midnight Motorist. In Midnight Motorist, we are playing this little mini game that says later that night. Presumably later the night that William Afton killed Charlotte Emily. Now, whenever he gets up to what is presumably his house, he walks inside and there is somebody watching TV that's like, leave him alone, he had a rough day. And he goes over to this child's door and starts yelling at him. He's like, why won't you open the door? So he goes outside to investigate, sees that the window is busted open, there are shadowy footprints to the side, and then normal human footprints going into the woods. And he says, oh, he must have gone off to that place again. That lines up exactly with what we see in this short story with little Timmy. And it is the only short story that has Mike, the security guard Mike that we know from the games, in it. So I think this is the correct name for Crying Child. It's not Dave. We don't get the Crying Child's name from the Foxy Grid. Now, maybe there is a way we can get Cassidy still from the Foxy Grid, but I don't think that Dave is the name of the Crying Child, and I don't think that was the way we were supposed to solve Cassidy. So there you have it. That is how I solved part of the security logbook. Now, I'm still a little stumped on the Foxy Grid, although I do have some working ideas, but I absolutely loved what I found here, and I just wanted to share it with you guys and get your thoughts on it. So if you liked this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and make sure you join the membership so maybe you'll be featured in the next video. Thank you to everybody who has already liked and subscribed and has joined the membership. I appreciate all of you so much, and you're literally allowing me to make these videos for you, which is insane, I guess. That's just crazy to me, but I love doing it. I love making this stuff for you guys, and if there's anything you would like to see, please let me know. I am thinking about starting streaming or doing some gameplay videos as well, so if there is any game you would want to see, just write it in the comments down below. But again, that is how I presume we solve the word search in the security logbook. I hope you guys agree with me, and if you don't, that's okay too. Nobody knows what's going on in this franchise anymore. Nobody. So let me know in the comments whether you do or don't agree, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!